All right, we are live.
Oh yeah.
All right,
How's
guys.
everybody?
Everybody's good.
All good, all good. Happy
Wow.
Saturday, guys.
Happy Saturday. Good morning.
First episode.
First episode into.
I'm over here without my
Oh,
headphone. I was setting up the camera and
our engineer.
Oh,
Got his
yeah.
headphones.
Engineer,
like
producer,
something feels weird.
promoter almost.
All right, so
We gotta do everything. Welcome to Stop Playing Podcast.
Stop Playing Podcast.
So, what's good for the weekend, Heffa? You got anything? I know you're in here for a bit, but
This is our first time ever. We have done some rehearsals. We gotta get better at it.
Well, we had one rehearsal basically.
Yeah, so
only
But-
one warm up.
We gotta give ourselves
cut some slack.
pat on the back with the setup.
Yeah, that's
I don't think that's going. We look pretty
the
legit.
jump
At
from
least
the first to the second setup.
Yeah.
though, that's improvement. So we gotta.
big improvement. Oh my god,
yeah.
we're gonna look at this like a year from now on, and we'll be looking at this. What the heck are we doing?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Hopefully we improve a lot. We're really rusty. I know I've been saying, get some pointers, some ideas for the podcast. I'm guilty. I've been watching some, here and there, but haven't been writing anything, putting anything down. Right now, the laptop, I don't have anything showing. I don't even have the Wi-Fi.
As long as we get that, listen, we look legit with the laptop.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I forgot to put the Wi-Fi code, so I have no internet.
Oh shit.
but listen, I think the point of this podcast is for us to have fun. Talk about cool topics. That's,
Yeah, of course.
and enjoy each other's company, man, and then hopefully we'll build from there.
Yeah. I got you with the hotspot, Brian. If you need that, Let me know.
Well, we still don't know what direction our podcast might take. We want to make this entertaining for everybody. We want to make it maybe some type of empowerment or motivational in some type of way for some people out there.
I think it will be depends on the subject.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely go in the direction of, stop playing podcasts to be in more of a
Motivational, I guess.
motivational, for whoever who's gonna be listening into it.
Well, the reason we started the podcast was lately we've been,
Sending each other's little reels,
of course,
motivational reels,
for those people who work out.
Yeah, working out, but anything, just
Yeah,
mental
just-
health.
Any
Stay-
type of hustle out there, not just working out, of course, whether it's educational, whatever field you're in. Hopefully you're able to find some type of connection to what we have, to talk about in this podcast. We want to bring something good out, of course, here and there we're going to be goofing around, hopefully make it entertaining.
One day at a time, one podcast at a time.
Oh yeah.
Of course. You guys were talking before about UFC.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it, so I won't be into that discussion. But I think you guys had something good going right there.
Yeah, it's fine. We need the, you just watch the
Hold on,
Brandon
hold
even
on.
the big fights.
Where's your mic?
My bad. Can you? Well, you guys can still hear me.
Yeah.
Hopefully we do. Marlon's mic is catching it.
Hold on, let me see if this. This is better now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Yeah, this is better. Good. All right. Sorry, guys.
No, you good.
I was like, I'm looking at headphone. I'm like, where's his mic?
Yeah, but I was like, I know when a fight is like big, like scale wise, like people, the regular public knowing of it. If Brandon like asked me about it, if Brandon like, oh, this guy is fighting, I'm like, who are you rooting for? Then I know I was like, oh shoot, this one.
This
is a big fight,
It's a
'cause
big
even
fight
the
because
guys-
Brandon knows. I mean,
No.
did you guys ever see the early UFCs? How they're like basically no
rules.
rules. Oh my god.
No weight classes, like
No weight classes,
a sumo guy, fighting a karate guy, like skinny and like.
Yeah. What the heck? But that was entertaining. That was like those guys when.
I'll hate
Out
to be
there,
that
yeah.
skinny guy. Yeah.
Shit, there was a video of like a brutal knockout. This like bigger guy and this like jiu-jitsu guy with like a gi on and stuff. He like grabbed him like by his arms and just started like elbowing him to the face, and he's like unconscious. Within the third one, and he landed like 6 more.
Oh my
And
God. Who was the the heavyweight and that was he came out. He's I think Russian guy.
Heavyweight.
But he was from. I mean, I think he's retired already. But he was like, this guy was nuts. From Prime.
Emelianenko.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy was a beast.
Yeah, he never made it to the UFC.
Yeah, I think there was some contract.
There was a lot of
issues
beef.
going on. I think they wanted like crazy money. I guess maybe he wasn't.
Según there was like even this thing that the UFC says that. Sorry, Spanglish. There's even a thing that the UFC says that they like had a contract, went through with it, paid out, and then they just bailed after. The Prime. What's it called? Strike Force or Prime? No. Strike Force is a different one.
Do you know who exactly? Or
it was the organization. Yeah, they just pulled the plug on it after like the contract was.
Yeah.
They put it in motion and stuff, and they took the money and just. Shoot.
Yeah,
so that's why I think Joe Rogan has a comment that he says, like you could not mention him, because he was like just out there, he was really good at his time, and unfortunately he wasn't in the UFC, so people compare him to him, talk about him, and they told Joe, you could talk about him, just don't like say their organization name, just say he's fighting overseas or whatever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because they were like beefing stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Who said that? Joe Rogan?
Yeah, he said that they told him like you could talk about him because it was hard not to talk about him. He was like
that was like the only thing they censor, right? The UFC.
Yeah, they don't really.
He said something about he could talk about any topic, even curse. Just don't talk about
mention their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Prime
you could even
you
could even say mention he's fighting overseas. Just don't mention their name.
That one guy that broke his what's it, his
McGregor?
knee? No.
Stop. I was like, you don't even know McGregor's
right
name?
here.
Oh my God.
No, what's his name? They call him El Cucuy. What's his?
Oh, Kukui.
Yeah,
but he's.
What's his name? Like his
Tony Ferguson. Damn.
Tony Ferguson.
It's like.
Tony.
It's like
I follow him and I see like some of the regimen he got, some of the training he goes through.
He's a maniac.
He does things that he shouldn't be doing. He's over here like kicking like
steel pipes
to
strengthen his shins.
Yeah, and I heard he had a knee injury or something like that.
Yeah, and that was like the 4th time or like
he just lost, I think, 2 fights in a row. He just lost. He's like in a losing streak.
Yeah, he's on a losing streak. It's fucking hard to watch, bro.
Well, that's why McGregor is also on that list.
At a time, he had the longest winning streak in the lightweight division, even more than Khabib, which is the champion for some reason.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I
don't really follow that closely.
Like he fought for the interim title first, which interim is like technically the champ can't fight at the moment, but you're like you're like the next one. And then they gave like the championship to Khabib. Well, they were gonna fight him and Tony, and then that was around the time the incident happened. Brandon was saying that was like the 5th or 4th time that fight got canceled. He was like doing media press, and like he tripped over some wires that were on the floor, and like his tendon ripped off straight in front of the knee.
Oh wow!
That's
a freaking accident.
I know, and
but people were saying that type of injury.
No, the only thing I had was I tore Achilles tendon when I was playing basketball 12 years ago. That's like the worst pain. Oh my God! It's like it felt like somebody hit you with a bat right in the back of the, in your calf.
Shit.
And, oh my God, what the worst. And then they put you in a cast for like 6 months. Horrible.
6 months, right?
Yeah.
So like, this guy ripped the tendon straight off the knee. So they had to like go in there and like re-put it back on. I don't know if they staple it, whatever they do. And so 6 months for people, regular people to start doing like their day-to-day things. Yeah. He was in the octagon 6 months later.
Yeah,
wow.
I saw that.
Fighting for
so that means he had to be training before that.
But those guys are like, you gotta understand, those guys are like, listen, not to take anything from them, but those guys are like professional athletes. That's all they do.
They're probably on heavy meds too.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, but everybody even was saying that like it's just
it's unbelievable.
He was pushing it like
come on,
crazy.
He should have just taken. Wouldn't he still get paid though, or he was just gonna stay out of that fight?
There's also he also personally has made comments about like just the UFC like the way they pay, you know, their medical bills not being like fully covered and stuff, all that stuff. So like they don't have benefits, and they still, since they're signed on the contract, they can't go do money other things. Like
I do see that. Like with UFC, they're very restricted with their branding and how they get endorsed. They're very, you know, they can only endorse a certain brand.
No, they can't have no endorsements. If you're like big
anymore,
enough,
right?
Yeah,
Because
now
Reebok,
only the UFC. Yeah. Well,
Reebok
now it's
now is
Venom.
crypto, right?
Yeah, now
Crypto.com. Yeah.
Reebok used to be, everything started when like Reebok, they signed a fight deal with Reebok. So then before, fighters used to have like up to 10 sponsors on their like gear, shirt, shorts, whatever, and used to make so much money, you know, 10 sponsors on your shorts.
And they stopped that, right?
They stopped that when you could only wear Reebok. Shit, they had even some guys like with Jordans show up at a press conference, and now you gotta take them off. They walked on barefoot because
wow,
they're not Reebok. You gotta only Reebok. Yeah.
But don't the fighters get some kind of incentives wearing Reebok?
They get a percentage, but it's
but the
way
and
smaller
the bigger you are, the more incentive you get. But it's still like,
do you think about it?
They say what you're getting is like only like one sponsor, you know,
like maybe what 10%. When they could have gotten like 100% full of a brand deal, because it's just him representing that deal. Let's say Ferguson walks in with like, let's say Jordans, or maybe his own brand, that's gonna grow his own brand 100%. But then you gotta share now Reebok with the UFC and maybe how many other fighters. So
with the whole roster, not just you know. And that's the thing is, you're only allowed one sponsor. Before you were allowed 10 sponsors. Even if those sponsors are just paying you $1,000, that's 10 times, you know? That's crazy. So, like, a lot of fighters, a lot of good fighters, top fighters left of the UFC then. They started going to, like, that's when other, like, up-and-running promotions started getting bigger, like Bellator. There was another one, Bare Knuckle. They recently started acquiring a lot of old UFC fighters and stuff.
I don't know if, but that's 50 Cent, I think, got like some sort of like
really
fighting.
I think he's in Bellator or something. He's like he's invested in that.
But other companies compared to UFC, they're
paying way more money.
Really?
Yeah.
To the fighters, because
that's how they're winning.
They want to
fighters.
The UFC is like established brand. Yeah. Everybody, when they think about MMA, they think UFC.
Yeah, people don't even think of MMA. People say UFC. Yeah. Because shit, that's that one. I think now there's another Asian company, One Championship, and they're getting so much praise from Joe Rogan. So they're like growing so much because they're the first MMA promotion to cut out all dehydration, like weight cutting. Because you're fighting at 155, but you're not. You know, you weigh in 155 the day before in the morning.
And next day you're
165.
I find that crazy. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. Like almost 200, these fighters. Like, you know? And then if you're fighting 185, you're next day like 225. Yeah. 200.
But going back to the, UFC pay, I think, top fighters, they get, they don't, listen, you don't see top fighters complaining about money. You only hear about those, upcoming fighters, those guys that are, try and make it, okay? Because obviously, you're not gonna make money in UFC. You make very little money compared to top guys. Once you get to the top level, those guys make tremendous money. Even what's his name, Daniel. I heard a podcast conversation when Daniel. Interview with Daniel Cormier, and he said that, listen, when I was fighting with when he had that trilogy with John Jones, and say they made they made 500 mil for that fight, but they brought so much revenue, apparently Dana White just called and said, listen, Daniel, you guys did great, here's $1 million. You know what I mean?
Right. So I'm those actually guys, looking, it says how much do like the top UFC fighters make per fight. And it's crazy. It's like 500,000 to like 3 mil.
Yeah, but that's only a base pay that they provide. Exactly. On top of it, they get percentage from pay-per-view.
Yeah. And then they get win bonuses if you win. Like that's like another $50,000.
Correct. So I think that top fighters, they're getting millions of dollars.
And also the argument I've seen that's very valid is like the UFC does like a really good job of promoting like every fighter.
Yeah.
Like boxing doesn't do that job. Like boxing, you're just promoting like the
kind of promote themselves, right?
Yeah, just promoting but the main fight. You know, you just have Canelo and Triple G or whoever's fighting, correct. And you don't know
nobody from five other.
And then if you're watching a UFC fight, usually you know at least like the top, like the main event, co-main event, you know, and
then at least 3 other fights on the bottom,
and when you watch they like the highlights, they do all the stuff, they do like a good job that you actually like, oh shit, you're like a little invested.
Yeah.
Like I've had friends when they're watching like a big event, they also like, oh shit, I actually like the whole fight, you know, like all the fights.
Yeah, and they give you a little breakdown on the fighter, all that stuff. No, I think, and you know what, compared to boxing, I think like boxing is so corrupt.
Yeah.
You know, and then
I mean, and think about Mayweather.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the guy's a businessman, but I just don't think it should, like, there's people who train hard for, you know, those fights, and I feel like some fights, I mean, we all see it, and then at the end they come up with, you know, the guy who didn't even throw that many punches or was just running around is the one. All of a sudden he's the winner.
He's the winner. Come on. This, listen, don't get me wrong. Like the recent fight between the heavyweight, the Ukrainian guy Usyk, and
who was it?
They fought like a week or 2 ago.
Boxing or Usyk?
Yeah, boxing.
The Texas guy.
Usyk and something.
Oh, what's his name?
Was that like the latest fight?
Yeah, they literally fought like a week ago.
I'm sure I don't follow.
Still no Wi-Fi on the computer. I'm looking it up right here. No, it's not sharing.
Oh no.
Joshua. Right, Usyk and Joshua fight.
Oh, he fought Joshua?
Yeah.
He fought him already?
And that's what I don't get. Like this fight would compete. Like Joshua is like 6 inches taller than the guy, or like whatever. Maybe I'm exaggerating. 30-40 pounds heavier, reach is like 5-6 inches longer, and the Usyk wins. You know what I mean? And I saw the fight for first 9 rounds. That like they barely fought. You know what I mean? That's why like I don't.
There's a lot of criticism on Anthony Joshua about like after that Ruiz fight, he just.
Yeah.
Shit, that Ruiz guy. I remember watching that fight, and that shit was crazy. He got knocked down, and then he got knocked down 3rd round, and then like a minute later he knocks him down like 1 time, and then 2 more times, and then.
And that's it.
And oh shoot! And I'm like, oh shoot! And I don't know, like he says he didn't quit, but like you know, you could body language, all that stuff. Like the 3rd time he was standing up. They asked him, "You want to go?" He didn't say, you know.
Yeah.
And when you don't, it's fine, you know. That shit happens. But
and that's why when you compare fights with UFC, you never know. You know what I mean?
That's why. That's what Liam was saying. He's like, when you're undefeated like that, when you're winning like that, you think you're great.
Yeah.
And then you lose, you get like finished. Like that makes you like.
That's why you need to stay humble.
Shit, as a man, no, like as a person, that makes you question yourself. Like, are you really that good? That's like doubt kicks in your mind. Is you against you? You know, you're fighting yourself. Like, and a lot of fighters don't make it back. Shit, I used to follow this one Brazilian guy. He was fighting at 135. I thought he was the next like. Shoot, he was undefeated, 23-0. He came from like, I'm not sure, kickboxing or something, but he was like doing well too. And he was undefeated, and then he fought this other undefeated kid, Cody Garbrandt.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty popular too now. He's on a skid as well, and like they were like that was like a title eliminator. And I thought the other guy was gonna win, Almeida, and then Cody just knocked him out. And then since that fight, that kid has not recovered. And that kid was young. He was like 25, 27.
So
and then since then, 4 losses.
It tells you how mental that, you know, how strong mentally you have to be to, you know, overcome a loss.
Yeah, that's Leon was saying that. He was like, I'm interested to see how Usman comes back, because when you think you're great like that, you know, he was. But
you know, Usman Liam, that's a great example.
Yeah.
When Usman was winning 4 rounds. And literally a minute. That's like a totally like they say, a Rocky story. Like
what do you guys think about McGregor though? Do you guys think he's gonna come back up?
McGregor, I think he's way past his prime.
Do we have any McGregor fans?
I was a big McGregor fan, and I was like.
Yeah, McGregor like pulled in a lot of people. Like shit, I'm not McGregor, like, you know, he pulled me into the sport. Like, I was like, oh shit, like, motherfuckers talking shit, and then like
He's able
backing
to
it
back
up
it
in there,
up.
you know, like. And like, you know, so, sometimes you even follow that, because if somebody's talking shit, you're like, are you able to like keep it up, or like is that gonna fall on your face? You know, you're spitting up, is it gonna fall?
He was able to walk the talk for a bit.
And then he got me into a sport, and then I really like got invested. I started like and shit. Sometimes they were like hard to watch, because I'm like, shit, I'm a fan of both these guys, and then one of them gets knocked out, you know, and I'm like, oh shoot, good for the other guy, you know, but shit.
But listen, McGregor is, you gotta give that to the guy. He's the best self promoter in UFC. I think in UFC history.
Yeah.
Now
he took it to the next level. He
he talked so much shit.
UFC,
Everybody,
of course.
now everybody wants to talk so much shit too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of guys.
People, the haters want him to lose, but he would never lose.
He has though.
No, but I'm saying up to a certain point, he was like.
Yeah, no, like Heaven said, I think he's.
Who
like
are those
fighting
people?
Is like they say it's a game of like seconds, a game of inches, and it's like the game, if you're not in it,
He could be
like,
switched in a matter of seconds.
It passes you. Time passes you. Like you lose that. Like when he was fighting Dustin again that second time, I remember I was watching him with my buddy, and before he got knocked out, I was like, yo, he's looking slow. He's like reflexes, like something's gone. You know, like he's not.
You get older.
He's like lost that exactly. And Dustin, since they fought, Dustin had, especially even that year, Dustin or the year before, Dustin had been in there like 3-5 times.
Yeah.
You know, fighting against top guys, Gaethje. You know, like.
Well, first major McGregor's loss was against Khabib, right? That's where I think. See, that's where the mental game.
Yes, and I think he did the best out of anybody. He's like, you know.
Yeah. But he was just. This guy's
the mental. It's like.
But I feel also, once I feel like they might get a little bit distracted once they get all this fame, all this power. You know, one guy who I've seen not fail for so many years is Cristiano Ronaldo. That guy has discipline. I feel like, McGregor, he was, once he was in his prime, he was training hard every day. You know, he made it to the top. He kept it up for a bit. But if later on you see him, partying, drinking like crazy, he got with these friends.
Fights once a year.
Right. Because
fighting, punching people in the fucking street. Like,
because now he's not disciplined. He's not training daily. He's not... So you may think, he goes back into the gym for a couple months, he'll get back up. But no, all that, drinking, all that partying catches up to him. But so then when he goes back into the ring and finds out that somebody has been training harder than him, that has been disciplined the whole year, hasn't been,
who's fought 2 or 3 times and
I feel like that's where they fail.
Yeah.
Because this guy Cristiano, if you listen to some of the interviews he's done, he could go out maybe to a party or whatever. He does not drink. He stays with his diet. He trains daily. If he has to stay out of like family events to train, he does it. Other soccer players don't, and that's what makes him be like stay relevant.
His teammates used to say he was the first one at the train, like in the field to train, and he would be the last guy to leave.
You talking about Ronaldo?
Yeah, every time.
Same thing with Kobe Bryant.
People think
Kobe Bryant or Michael
great, but
Jordan.
like, he puts the fucking
all those
work.
guys, LeBron, all those guys that you hear, they've been on top of the game for a while. They're like, how are they able to keep it up? It's because they don't slack off. Once they made it, they don't think of I'm already here. I'm just gonna stop. They train harder, or they keep it constantly.
But you gotta ask yourself, where does that come from? And those guys, those top elite athletes, they have this unbelievable, crazy inner drive in themselves. Like relentless. For years. They don't.
I feel like they train their mind. That's where most of it comes from. Like being mentally strong, being because you got to be mentally strong to be able to pass on a family event in order to make it to your training.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that like they're from Brazil or South America, other parts in the world, and they come train in Florida because they have like one of the biggest American top team, one of the best training facilities for MMA fighters, and people they have dorming rooms, so they bring out their coaches, all their staff, and they stay here and like for like the 4 or 5 months they're gonna train and fight and then they go see their family. And now because of COVID, there was even videos of like these guys fly back home and they're like in a wall like plexiglass thing to see their families because they gotta be like contained or isolated for like 10 days.
The mindset, I think, that separates, the top 3-4 players in history. So for let's say soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Say that you got Messi, you got Ronaldo, right, and
Neymar,
yeah.
and then, but they've been in the top of the games for like 15, 17 years. Okay, when you look back and other players like Ronaldinho, right? He was one of the greatest as well, but only that 5-6 years, because he had poor working out habits. This guy used to go out,
Yeah, that's where it stops. Like they don't stay consistent.
That's what Connor says. He says he doesn't fight because if you say he needs money, he doesn't need money. Yes, last year he made Forbes top paid athlete. He beat Ronaldo. Like there was videos. It's crazy.
I don't know how if he's been losing twice.
And he only fought like once or twice.
No, I think he got the money
from endorsements.
and from
he has his whiskey company. Yeah.
And it was crazy. There's like videos came back of like when Connor was like at the top right now, like everybody was heard of him, and he was meeting up a lot of celebrities, and Ronaldo like came to see him in the octagon. They were like he was just showing him or whatever, and then he asked them like something. Connor asked them like, "Oh, you were like at the top of the Forbes list," and he was like, "Yeah, what number?" He was like, "I think I was like 35." Connor said like laughing.
Ronaldo,
he's
right?
Like, but no, Connor said like to Ronaldo, he's like, "I think I was like 35." He's like, "But he's like next year I'm gonna come for you." He's something, and then Ronaldo was like, "I don't think so."
Yeah, I saw that video.
And
then
he
sold the whiskey.
Was able to back it up.
He sold the whiskey.
Yeah.
Years later,
he was promoting that like crazy, whiskey.
Shit.
Yeah, but
every fight he has a contract with the UFC. The last fights, sponsored by Proper 12.
Yeah.
Proper 12 in the middle, I think.
Like another one, Rick Ross. I feel like he's the biggest in. There's certain people when they get to their craft and they don't have that much material, but then they're able to grow like financially and like within their brand. Like he's a rapper, right? But you don't hear that many songs or that he had like a whole bunch of albums. But you see him and he's making millions and millions of dollars, but you see behind like he invested all that money. He got Wingstop, then he got I think he's got Bel Air. What's his? He's got like a I don't know if it's a champagne or
I think it's champagne or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Buffalo.
They spread out.
Wingstop.
Wingstop. Yeah. But I saw the news when you were speaking about Rick Ross that he got cited like $100,000 by Department of Labor because he was underpaying their employees.
That was reason, right?
Wait, but do you guys know Rick Ross? You know Rick Ross' original like origin story, right? That's not his name.
No.
He took somebody else's identity.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. Like all the stuff he raps about, like that's like based on somebody, but not him. And he had a lawsuit against that guy, and the guy lost.
Really?
Over his name, yeah. Because he had been too much time or something.
Oh, wow.
And Rick Ross, like the famous guy.
Did he ever accept it though? That he did?
Well, no, I don't think he did. But like, I think Rogan's even had the real guy.
On his show?
Ricky Rose, and then he's like,
He had the real Rick Ross?
Yeah, he talks about how he lost the lawsuit because, Rick Ross had a good lawyer and they made this. Apparently, that was the persona Rick Ross had made, and since he had it for years, he owned it. So
I
the
feel
guy
like
lost
that's
the
the only
rights
way
to his name and his story. Can you believe that? That's fucking crazy.
No, but I feel like because once he did that, like it's his own brand.
That's what he did.
He trademarked it. Whatever. The guy's name is Rick Ross, or I'm not sure. Like
his story, like because the other guy, because the other guy was selling drugs. He was selling drugs to cops, and like that.
How did he find that information though? Like
his information is public. He went to jail and all that stuff. Like all that stuff is public. And like when he came out, Rick Ross was already famous and
wow.
And he tries to fight it and nah. That's his persona.
But you know what?
That's crazy.
Rick Ross made it into a business though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was the one that made the Rick Ross
the brand.
The brand.
Because the other guy is just Rick Ross.
Yeah, I'm the other guy. Nobody knew. In jail.
Yeah. Exactly. So in that perspective,
It's crazy.
Yeah, he wanted because he built the brand. He's the
hustle.
rapper. He sang about it. The other guy didn't.
And then
he lived it.
And then with the money he got, he's fucking rich. He invested it, Wingstop,
real estate, so many other brands that he's
I think he's living in. He bought the house. They like from.
It's in Miami, I think.
Holyfield.
He's got so many acres.
From Holyfield.
Yeah, Evander Holyfield. That was his. He built. I think he built that house, but.
And then he bought it.
And no, Holyfield lost it because I think it went on foreclosure because. All those boxers, they make crazy money, but they spend like crazy.
Didn't what's his name, Mike Tyson, do the same?
He said,
50 Cent bought his mansion back in the day.
Yeah. That's why he came back to fighting, like after jail. Like he was like, I'm just. Shit, that was like a clip when he stopped fighting. He was like, I don't fucking have the love for it anymore to get up in the fucking morning and train. Like I just don't have the fire. He's like, I'm just doing it because I need the money. Like, that's taking off.
He had the last fight still, right?
Who? Tyson?
Yeah, he recently had a fight. Yeah.
But he fought what? But that was like a
exhibition.
That was like exhibition fight.
Exhibition,
with,
right?
First round. Yeah. It was like sparring basically.
Yeah, Roy Jones, right?
Yeah, they ran it back. I think he was saying. I think I saw some bullshit that they're trying to put Mike Tyson against like Jake Paul or one of the Pauls.
Yeah,
right?
no, because
no. Tyson said if you put up 100 million, I'll do it.
Yeah. And Jake Paul is the biggest in advertisement.
He'll take anything.
Yeah, but Tyson, I don't know.
That's crazy though. Like,
you see the training video of Tyson at 50?
Yeah.
Tyson went nuts.
I feel like when somebody new like that and goes against like a legend like Mike Tyson, I don't know whether he should accept it and just like shut him up or don't and keep his legacy, kind of like what Mayweather did when he had like that 50-0.
But it's still fighting, and the other guy is way younger, so like that's. If it goes sideways for Tyson, that's hard to watch, Like,
well, yeah, because he's gonna lose his legacy. He's gonna. That's what I'm saying.
Getting it beat up by a younger kid. Like
but that's why it's called exhibition fight, and
because they don't count it, right?
Yeah, they don't really count it.
And it's just. I think there's like even in those there's like no KO rule.
Like I said.
I mean, we got Mayweather against Logan Paul. Who was it? Logan Paul, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that was an exhibition too, because.
But Logan's now into WWE.
But yeah, that fight when I saw Mayweather, at one point he literally knocked he had to hold him.
Yeah,
right.
I saw the clip when he kind of like knocked him and then
they had to kind of hold him
like on him
and held him so he doesn't fall.
I was like, what?
Who?
Like
Mayweather.
He clipped Logan and Logan kind of like went down kind of.
Yeah,
but since Mayweather was right there, he kind of like fell on Mayweather and Mayweather like even hugged him.
Yeah.
So it was like he kind of fell on him. So the people were saying that he held him up when he knocked him down. But I don't know.
But that one time, was a Mayweather against McGregor, boxing.
Yeah.
That McGregor started kind of like hitting him with the shoulder.
He was talking so much shit though. Well, Mayweather, even before they fought, he was talking so much shit that he was gonna fight in the octagon. And he even made a video of like
Mayweather.
He made a video of like walking into the octagon like something Mayweather MMA comes something like.
I think that's the only that was the only good fight where Mayweather kind of like did something.
He was doing so much extra movement in there, like he's unnecessary movement, Like
I feel like he didn't prepare for
MMA it. That you could, you maybe could do something in those angles, but like in boxing you just can't because you can't hit behind the head. If if you're behind him, you can't hit him.
Yeah.
You could maybe take him down or something if you're doing MMA, kick him in the head, something, but you can't like.
But I feel
punch in the head.
McGregor could have beat him. Like he just didn't train. I feel he didn't train enough.
Well, I think they even said something that I think Joe Rogan was saying.
He gassed out, right? McGregor.
What?
He basically gassed out in the 5th round when they fought.
I think 7th, right?
Yeah.
When he finished. Yeah. But they were saying how like Mayweather fought him. I think not too long after he fought for the title. Like when he won, not too long after, and I think they only gave him like 6-week notice. Because they were like negotiating, it wasn't a thing. And then when it was a thing, it was like 6 weeks out. And like Mayweather has been boxing his whole life.
Yeah.
And so that's when Conor started like training 6 weeks out. So like, I don't know. And apparently brought him down to 155. I think they were saying that they could have fought it at 160. But shit, I don't know. I think that was a decent weight. I don't see the weight.
Who went down on weight? McGregor?
But McGregor was fighting at 145. He had just become the 155 champion, and they fought at 154. So that's fine. That's not a It's not a big deal.
Still significant.
1 pound. 1 pound. He was fighting at 155. He had just claimed the 155 title. I think 154 shouldn't be no biggie, right?
Yeah.
It's 1 pound. Your underwear wears 1 pound. Yeah. Sometimes when they by 1 pound, they just like, okay, bring the towel, take their thing off, and
But the boxing shorts are heavier.
yeah.
And
And he made the weight.
Yeah. There was like the whole scandal with Charles. Charles Oliveira technically isn't the champion at the moment, cause like when he fought, who did he fight last time?
Don't look at me.
Poirier.
I don't watch UFC that.
He fought Poirier the last time. I think. No. Fuck. I'm Justin. He fought Justin Gaethje the last time. He fought Justin Gaethje, and apparently, so they fought in Abu Dhabi, and there was a whole thing. Every fighter was talking about it, that, you know, they made weight before, the night before. They checked their weight. You know, they're checking weight all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they checked the night before. He's like, I was on weight. In the morning, I was on weight. I go downstairs to weigh myself in. I'm 2 pounds over on the scale they have, and like all the fighters are saying that like. But they were like, hey, I had
So
checked,
like
and I went back up, and like, you know, I had time or whatever. But I think they're saying Charles like checked in too late too. So like by the time he realized that the scale was like 2 pounds overweight, he was like late.
Wow.
So he's just like,
Yeah, cutting weight has to be such a.
But I think that's bullshit. So there's like the rule. There's like a 1 pound like grace. You know, so if you're fighting at 155, you're allowed to weigh in at 156. Right? Mm-hmm. Except if you're champion. If you're champion, you gotta weigh 155 on the dot. That's stupid. I think it should be the other way around. If I'm the champion, I should be allowed 1 pound grace.
But maybe they're doing it
because I put the work. Like everybody else should have to make that 155. Because if you're fighting at 155, that should be it.
But maybe because as a champion, you already kind of know how to, you know.
But I feel like if anybody is allowed a fucking grace period, it should be the champion.
But let me ask you,
even if you're gonna
what happens when somebody misses like by 3-4 pounds? Like
if it's significant like that, they talk to the other guy. If the other guy still wants to fight,
they
make it, but he has to forfeit like up to, depending on how much weight. They're starting at like 20% of your purse.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, so you lose money. You gotta pay up 20% of your purse, or depending on, some girl was like fucking 7 pounds over. Like damn near a whole weight class up. A weight class is like 10 pounds. She was fighting at 155. I'm sorry, 125, and she was like 132. Could have almost fought at 135. Like she missed that much weight, and I think she had to pay like only like 30%. And people were like, nah, it's not worth it. Like some people, they're saying that was cheating because some people will take like, I don't know, like not cutting the extra weight, or like not, you know, taking yourself to that dehydration level, or just like Rogan says, like it's just sanctioned cheating. Like you shouldn't be able to be bigger in there, stronger in there, because you're dehydrating yourself. You know, like one championship, Demetrius Johnson, he recently became the champion over there, and they're the first MMA promotion to like cut out all that dehydrating stuff. So they, instead of they implemented hydration tests. So like throughout the week you're training in there, they test you for hydration. You're not able to be hydrated. Like dehydrated. You have to be hydrated, so you're fighting at your natural weight.
But then those fighters that are naturally at 180.
So like the fighters.
So for somebody, it's like somebody that is naturally a heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then fights at light heavyweight during a contest. He's a heavyweight.
Yeah. During the fight, he's a heavyweight technically. So what they did is they recently implemented this, maybe like within the last 2 years. So they like moved all champions up, like, because technically you're weighing in at 145, you're actually fighting closer to 155. So like now you're the 155 champion. They moved everybody up, and hydration tests for everybody. Everybody has to be hydrated, because I think they had like in their like maybe not that organization, but the like. One of the CEOs or like founders, he had like a smaller promotion, and somebody died because of dehydration and like cutting too much weight.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that sounds sometimes unhealthy.
Shit, Masvidal lost like 20 pounds, like 15 or crazy pounds in like 2 weeks for a fight, because they didn't want to pay him that first match when he first fought Usman, they didn't want to pay him, and then they even scheduled the fight with Leon since then, because they were he was trying to get more money. They weren't trying to give him, and they were like, okay, fine. They gave the title shot to Leon. They even booked it, and then karma, a month before, maybe like 3 weeks before, Leon is hurt, so he's out. And they had to call up Masvidal, pay him what he wants.
Oh wow!
But now since Masvidal was out partying, he was fucking overweight. Because he's not like Brandon says, he's one of those guys that wasn't. He said it himself. He wasn't like disciplined. When he wasn't fighting, he said sometimes mornings, Tuesday mornings, I would like come in from like straight up drunk from the bar or the party last night. Like I was hungover still, and like I'm in there grinding still, but it, like I
see, and then they wonder why they lose or why they
the discipline. He says that. Wait, I know you heard of Francis Ngannou, right? No.
Who's that? He's the black dude. He's the like he's like ripped and like heavyweight.
I think Nigerian. Yeah.
He's like heavyweight, right?
Yeah, he's the champion recently. He knocked out Stipe, which was like I liked him as a. He's like a firefighter still. Yeah. That guy? Miocic? A firefighter? Yeah, firefighter in his... No, the Stipe and Miocic. He used to be the old champion.
Wait.
But Francis beat him.
No, knocked him out.
Wasn't there a UFC fighter who went to the war in Ukraine? Wasn't...
that was a fighter, Lomachenko.
What type of fight?
Vasily Lomachenko. He's a boxer.
Oh, he's a boxer.
Oh, he was a boxer. Yeah, I saw that.
He was over there, yeah, because I think he's Ukrainian.
Yeah.
And he was out,
his dad took him out of boxing like 4 or 5 years, taught him only like Ukrainian dance, took him to teach like you're only gonna do Ukrainian dancing for like 3-4 years.
Oh really?
He's like, if you really want to learn boxing, but now his movement is crazy. Like he did lose like 2 fights ago. He got knocked down and then he lost on decision, but like his movement is. He was sparring one who I thought was like one of the best movers in like TJ Dillashaw, and there was like both sparring, and that dude is like dancing around TJ, and like I thought TJ was like fucking beast, but in there is different. They were sparring boxing, they got gloves, so like that's Lomachenko's world. So
Brendan, me and you gotta bring our game.
Yeah, we gotta get up to speed with this UFC.
And boxing.
I'm talking about boxing too, and I don't even know boxing.
I don't see sports that much. Like for example, I play soccer. I don't like watching soccer. Yeah, no, like the soccer games, I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
I would play like football. Football, I feel like it's the only sport that I watch the whole game. Don't ask me.
I like watching football. Football is fun.
Yeah, like gets you motivated too. But for example, like I like maybe boxing. I'll box someone or like train for it, or UFC. But I fall asleep. I cannot like stand just watching.
You know which sport I fall asleep on? Baseball.
Oh, sure, yeah, I can.
What was that fight? How many? Like 2 weeks ago. That main event. I went over to his place. I knocked out like throughout all the fights. I would just wake up.
Yeah, that was a Leon Edwards Usman fight. He was over. I think he was knocked out before.
No, that fight was like because Usman was winning for most of the.
I didn't even get to it.
This guy, he didn't even get to it. Like he was.
I was just falling
asleep in the prelims because I watched them all. So I had put him on and he was just.
Every fight, every time like I hear them like shouting because maybe something came up, and I wake up, I'm like, oh okay, and then slowly go back to sleep on the next fight. I don't even remember who fought or like how many fights there were.
Nah, but Brandon, you just
I didn't even make it. I don't think I made it to the last the main event. I'm like, yo, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I think
3 fights before the main event, he was like, yo, I gotta go.
I'm like,
yeah, you're not even watching the fights.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like at that point. The thing is, I was like so like sleepy that I couldn't even get up to be like, yo, I'm going home. Till I'm like, I've been sleeping throughout the fights. I don't even know what fight they're in. I just left. I'm like,
but no, that was a fight. Sometimes that was one of the fights that if you fall asleep on it, you count the guy out. I mean. Because actually, I had 2 friends over there that fell asleep.
I was talking shit. I was, my fiance, she was falling asleep kind of next to me, and I was like, oh shoot, I think I think Guzman's won
The
by
game is
decision
over.
already. Yeah, I think shit. The commentators were counting him out, and I'm like, shoot. I think you see him on the stool, kind of defeated. You know, he's not even looking his coach in the eyes. So his coach is trying to like, you know, you
That's the one that
pull yourself
that
together.
got kicked.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, like the cars turn around on him.
Yeah, like there's like so many comments of he's not even looking his coach in the eyes. You know, his coach is trying to like
He
put
was
it together.
depleted,
You know,
like mentally.
He's
They
depleted,
had
he
lost all hope.
Yeah.
And but shit, you can even see on video like where his coach like head kick him, and he right on, you know, on cue head kicks him.
And then
Fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy.
out of nowhere.
That's a movie moment for that guy.
Definitely.
That was like the only part I seen some clips. He sent it over. I was like, I think in the background where like one guy is saying easy money, because he was going against the other guy that was easily, you know, he was winning. You could tell he was gonna win the fight.
Yeah, it's like
And-
his teammate.
And 5 seconds later.
It turns around and like the guy gets knocked out. I'm like, wow, that's epic.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like there's so many UFC fights that like one guy is winning, like the whole fight. Like a couple fucking like this guy Derek Lewis. He had a couple fights like that. He's like, he looks like he's down and out. And
Derek Lewis is the guy that.
Black Beast, yeah. He takes his shorts off. My balls is hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
Wait, that's the guy heavyweight?
Yeah, he's heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
Where
but he just-
who was it? Joe Rogan was interviewing him, or he won the fight or something, and he went up like, what are you gonna tell the crowd? Was it that?
No, he had taken his shorts off that fight, and that's when he like really went popular. He had taken his shorts off because he had just. Well, it was that fight that I'm talking about. He was losing like the whole fight. Last 30 seconds, he knocked out
the white
tall
tall guy.
Yeah,
I saw that
Oh,
fight.
fuck, I forget his name. He has like a nice tattoo on his back of like a stingray. He might be Russian or Polish. No, I think not Polish, but Russian. But he was winning the whole, and then 30
The white guy was
before-
winning the whole fight,
Yeah.
and like within 30 seconds,
before,
he
he throws a crazy overhand, like knocks him down, and just like 2-3 on the floor, and even his mouthpiece flew out when he knocked him down, and then he gave him like 3-4 in the face, and like with no mouthpiece.
Now,
Oh my God.
those heavyweight fights kind of like they get me going, because you see these heavy guys that
That
like
dude
you-
is heavy.
Normally
That dude
you don't
is
see
heavy.
a guy moving like that, and these guys are like doing they're running towards them, they're picking them up, and like you see them, I'm like, wow, they got amazing strength.
Shoot, there was recently this like chubby guy. He's like, I think he was light heavyweight though, cause he's shorter. He threw he has a big belly, like, and he threw a head kick, knocked the guy down, and like finished him. And then he did a backflip, landed on his ass, cause he can't even land it. You know, he's too big, he can't land on his leg. He landed on his ass. I'm like, that's crazy. I
Wow.
can't do a fucking backflip.
No, those guys.
Yeah,
are
that's
tremendous
what I'm
athletes.
like, damn, some of these guys are heavyweight, and you see them doing like backflips. I'm like, damn, I'm like,
Oh, but the guy in the main event, so it's Cyril Gain against Ty Tobasa. That dude he's Australian, and they do shoeies over there.
what's that?
So like when when
Explain
he
it.
wins, shoeies are like you grab somebody's shoe or like your shoe.
Oh,
put
the
a
one
beer
where
in
you
it,
drink.
Oh,
and then you drink it. So
that's
he's always
disgusting.
asking Joe Rogan for, can I have your shoe? Can I have your shoe? But Joe Rogan's like,
No.
I need it, you know. Like,
I need my damn shoe.
but somebody always, when he wins, somebody in the crowd always throws him a shoe,
and that's what he does.
throw him a beer,
And then
as a
drinks it.
celebration. Yeah.
Hell no.
Fucking-
I'll save a shoe maybe before the fight. I'm like, I'll give it to my trainer. I'm like,
People throw him his shoes.
a brand
like,
new shoe.
A lot of times it'd be like brand new Nikes fall in his hand and with
Yeah,
a beer. and like,
then I'll do it, you know. But some random shoe thrown from the
that-
crowd, like,
That's disgusting.
that's a little bit.
that's somebody else's
That's
shoe.
gonna
That's
brew him up.
crazy. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does that after every fight. That's how he celebrates.
What's his
when he
name?
wins.
Who's the guy?
Ty Tubasa. Yeah, he's Australian. They have like a lot of them.
Those
They
shows
have
are
like
crazy.
traditional like tattoos like down their hips and shit.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, like traditional.
that-
I don't know what to call them.
Tradition of shoeing is a bit extreme.
Yeah, yeah.
The
They
only,
do it,
I
and then
mean,
they have, and then he's like walking out the cage. He's walking like to the back, and people are like handing him shoes, handing him beer, and like he's taking like a couple on the way out.
but
What
that's
the
like
fuck?
kind of a show of like manliness, like, you know.
Yeah, like
I'm
they're,
drinking out of a
fucking shit.
dirty
I don't give a
shoe.
fuck, like barbaric shit, you know.
Yeah. That's kind of slowly going away. I remember I sent you guys a clip yesterday. Like nowadays, like people or at least men, they're like portraying them not as barbarian or not as tough, you know, because of this whole movement LGBT.
You gotta stop listening to that, Brandon.
No. This is what they're talking
You
about.
gotta quiet that, bro. Like, I
Everybody
don't know,
did
like,
They trying to quiet men.
Fuck it.
They're
Now I
against-
kind of get like a little like, I don't know.
Hey, we gotta get into this topic though, because Andrew Tate. We gotta talk about this. How he got canceled.
Isn't that crazy?
I
He
see
doesn't
the trade.
listen. A guy like that, he talks a lot of crap and a lot of his smack, and
But
all of a
again,
sudden,
you listen to it, it's like truth. There's a lot of truth to
yeah,
it.
no, I totally get it. And then all of a sudden,
He gets silenced.
he get canceled on everything: Facebook, Instagram.
What
Twitter.
happened to freedom of speech?
Yeah,
I
he's not
mean,
hurting anybody. He got his
exactly.
own opinion.
If you don't want to listen to him, don't listen to him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's hurting you. That's why you're like taking it against it. Mostly, I feel like maybe a lot of feminism. I know we're gonna get a lot of probably shade on this. We're not against any type of group religion or belief, but just like that, everybody has their own beliefs.
But I don't understand. Why did he get canceled? What's the main reason that he got canceled?
Well, there was a lot of the guy. I don't
What
think
did
the
they
guy.
say? Why-
He wasn't even the one with the podcast. He doesn't. He was like in other people's podcasts and just
Well,
spitting.
technically, because I saw this video of like, there was like, are you wondering why like you haven't been able to like you see Andrew Tate everywhere in your social media? You notice that?
Yeah.
Like I don't know where Andrew Tate entered, even if you didn't know the guy and like
He
you
was
didn't
all
fucking
over.
watch the
But
video. He was
had
all over because he had
the-
so many bots, like accounts and stuff, fake accounts, stuff like that, posting and shit.
Yeah.
So that's technically that violates the you're not supposed to have like bot accounts and stuff.
But
So
that's
Segun-
bullshit. Because all
Segun,
these
that's the tactic they use to take him off.
all
Yes.
these women models, all these OnlyFans promoters,
A
they
lot
got
people
millions
do
of
buy
bots.
A lot
They
of
don't get
people
canceled.
but
You see all these photos.
but I heard that's how they were able to take him
But
off.
I heard that he had this pyramid where if you bought into like I don't know, like some Andrew Tate University.
Oh, but a lot of people have that. Like it's basically it's kind of like
Seminars, right?
Like
Yeah.
little seminars, whatever.
Seminars.
And part of the seminar was that if you pay whatever you say, pay $50, but then if you post something like a clip about Andrew, you get $20.
But that's
so,
incentive.
but that's
every
just
business
and
does that. Have
that's kind of
Sorry?
like
that's incentive. A lot of businesses do that. Like
Yeah.
if you
Yeah, so
promote
that's what I
stuff
understand,
that,
like, why-
the reason why you see a lot of like things just popping out of nowhere, like promoting it, is because Instagram you could actually pay for likes or like followers
Or promotion.
But, right, you could literally pay for a certain amount and
'cause-
and you get all these fake accounts following you, and there's so many of them and they don't get taken down if they're offering but supposedly I'm reading this out so we don't get it wrong. Supposedly Facebook or Meta, Instagram, which are all connected,
they're all the same platform technically owned by the same
Yeah.
person.
So of course
They
they
got banned off of all of them.
supposedly he got banned because he was violating the company's policies and dangerous organizations and individuals. They were saying supposedly he was accused of smuggling women.
Who, Andrew?
He was a victim of, what do they call it? When somebody like you could randomly just call the
Cancel?
FBI. What is it called?
When they cancel you,
No, not cancel. There's a term for it when somebody just randomly calls the FBI and says, this person is holding somebody hostage, or this person.
incriminate you.
Yeah, but there's a term. I'll look it up later.
But that was fake because
Right.
I heard that he was explaining the
They
situation.
came up. The whole FBI came up to his house and.
But they were trying to say he supposedly like abused his ex-girlfriend or something, right?
No. That was referring to Brandon's thing. What happened was he was explaining that he had a party at his house. A girl called in order to not get in trouble with her boyfriend, called her boyfriend and said, "Listen, they
have me against my will.
they kidnapped me. They're not allowing me, to leave. Just to make some kind of excuse."
But she was just hanging
But
out.
he was hanging out. She had a good time hanging out, and then that boyfriend called the cops and FBI or something, or whatever, and then that's what will happen. I think. Funny.
But he was what
like I started seeing
MMA fighter.
No, kickboxer.
No, kickboxing. Yeah, I started seeing some of his video he was saying wild shit. Like I don't know, some videos he says like wild shit, just like talking, you know, up in his masculinity, talking down on a woman, you know. And it's like that's why a lot of women just
Took it the wrong way.
Against them.
Yeah, so that's what we gotta get.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Oh
Some
yeah.
practice.
Oh yeah.
Well,
The first real one, I think. The first one was warm up. This is the real one. First
All
one.
right.
Sling.
Good job, guys.
you know, we started a bit rusty, but we'll get there.
We're gonna get better. We're only gonna get better from here, brother.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So cut.